stream. Cactus care, sowing out little cactus seedlings. I brought many today again to have a look at, to water again. Some of them have been watered already, but they need water every few hours. So yeah, we will probably spend time watering most of the seedlings. I brought a few containers, square pots that we want to go through. Yeah, and apart from that, little stuff here and there. Hey mate, welcome to the stream. Great to have you. Thank you. I'm back at the old desk. I brought back the old desk after yesterday. I just didn't like it yesterday. It was too, I don't know, too different. It confused me the whole stream. Because the new desk is a little deeper, and I had to look in a very weird angle into the camera. Yeah, and I'm just so glad that it's normal again. I missed it. So yeah, great to be back, guys. Thank you for joining. I brought the seedlings again today that we can go through one by one. Some of them need a little bit of work done. I brought the little chili that we almost lost in the beginning. This is the plant where the seeds got stuck on top, and we took it off in a very risky move, and the plant survived. So I just wanted to show you that. Yeah, this is a classic little chili, and hopefully it will make it. So yeah, let's get started with the seedlings, but great to be back. It's raining a little, so not much going on outside. Had some time to clean up yesterday. Already getting ready for the new season. I already started moving plants into the greenhouses, removing the ones that didn't make it in winter. I brought quite a lot of seedlings into the house because they are still too small. In the future, I want to keep more in the house. The smaller ones I want to keep inside. So yeah, let's go through the seedlings here. These were sown out quite a while ago and not looking perfect. There's some green seedlings in there, but also some variegated seedlings. The white ones here, that reddish white thing here. And those don't look healthy at all. Over here is a seedling that didn't make it. We need to clean that up. Removing the little cactus seedling that unfortunately expired. Maybe we have to take them out of the bag. They're in the bag within the first 2 months. But yeah, maybe we can already take some of them out. We will see. Just trying to clean this up a little. Trying to find my little clippers thing. But it's never there when I'm looking for it. Oh, I have it. Okay. So I want to take out that one seedling that is not alive. And it's this one here. Age maybe a month old. I'm not sure. It's hard to tell. They haven't grown much. You can see that some of them have a few spines here and there. But in general, there's not a lot of growth. With the variegated seedlings, they are basically albino. They will not survive probably. And that's what might have happened with the seedling that we took out. I think it's time to take them out of the bag here. I usually try to keep them in the bag for a couple months, but these might survive if I spray them all the time. I don't like when I open up a container and I see a seedling that didn't make it. And sometimes you can let the soil dry out, take it out, let the soil dry out. And that's what I want to do here. Okay, next one. Yeah, these are really young, relatively young cactus seedlings. Still in the first soil that I used. in the beginning, we used this blackish kind of soil for sowing out, just to experiment. It wasn't bad, but it had problems. You see the pieces of wood here, and I actually pulled huge pieces out of the soil. Just this week in the stream, I had one piece of wood that was this big, and of course that stuff's not usable for sowing out. So the newer seedlings are all in sowing soil now, and that is a great soil, great all-round cactus soil. Yeah, and right now I consider to move them into the new soil, because that old soil was a little bit worse, and at some point they will run out of nutrients. So let's get a container, if I have one, and move them. Only have the big ones. No, we're doing them like I gotta get new containers next time. We're doing that next time. I don't want to put these in a too big of a pot, because they're actually tiny and we might still lose them. These are really in the first stage of cactus seedling, and just for comparison, let me show you some others that are roughly the same age. Check this out. That's how some of the others are growing. So something wasn't perfect here, and next time we're transplanting them. I'm gonna put this aside until we need it again. Okay, so I'm opening a few more. These are usually younger cactus seedlings, or they had problems and needed to stay in the bag a little longer. And I'm always happy to answer questions if you want to know something. If not, I'm just going through the containers of seedlings, of cactus seedlings that we have grown here in the last couple of months, maybe. These are all grown from seeds. It's been like something of the theme of the live stream in the beginning. Yeah, and it's fun. So these are Teleflora seedlings. Really interesting. They are looking more interesting every day, because you can see a different type of body in the plant. Hey, I was born in Saarland, Germany, German state in near France, near the borders, near the borderline of France. Pretty French area. Okay, yeah. We'll see what we do with them. Really small, some of them, but in between you can always see the little seedlings that are developing nicely, where you can really see it. The color is a little bit unhealthy, so I would really love to start fertilizing them. Yeah, but they are still too small to take them out, and fertilizing is something that I would do later. It is. I can say hello. Hello is German. What else? Hello. Like when you need to say something in German, I don't really. If I find something that is particularly funny, I will let you know later. I wouldn't know what to say right now. So yeah. But yeah, I'm from Saarland, Germany. Ein Saarländer. That's German, you know. Saarland, really cool area, beautiful place, very green, and good kitchen, good food, interesting place. So yeah, let's put these back into the bag, but I wanna fertilize them. I really wanna fertilize them long term, and because these could be awesome. I already see unusual growth. Okay, so I'm moving on here with the cactus seedlings. I don't want to talk too much because it comes up every time I'm doing the stream. But thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. Vielen Dank. Okay, thank you very much. So let me see what we have here. Yeah, these are Uwe seedlings. Uwe, great breeder. And they're developing nicely. Some of them have that reddish discoloration that you only see when they are a little bit dry. So they might need a little bit more water. But apart from that, yeah, looking good here. A little bit too deep in the pot. With the newer ones, I really make sure to fill up the pot to put them all in on a level where they get a little bit of oxygen all around and where they get light. If you have them so deep in the pot, it increases the risk that you have, the risk to lose them, the risk to have a fungal infection in the container. So yeah, I want to water them a little, getting the tub that I have here. A lot of these seedlings, they need to be watered a few times a day. So you're busy all the time. That's at least how it's going with me. And when you're growing many, then you're really busy watering all the time. Yes, these were all planted on the live stream. Planted within the last 2 or 3 months. I started doing this thing, yeah, roughly 3 months ago. And everything that I have here, we have grown on the stream. So yeah, they're developing nicely. These are just maybe 5 years away from flowering. So yeah, these need water. A little bit not growing fast. So I will try to water a little bit more, fertilize a little bit more. But yeah. Yeah, I'm originally I was born in Germany. Everything that I do with the cactus stuff is in English, because so many of my friends are international breeders. I'm doing this so long at a time when there wasn't Facebook and where you couldn't really translate everything. So I had to learn English to talk with my friends, with friends that like the same hobby. And yeah, I grew up in a very connected way, being connected to other breeders everywhere. And at this point, it's too late to change it. I would not be able to go back again to do German, at least not in this industry, like in what I do. It's been my thing. I've written the books in English that I wrote. Yeah, but I always love when a little bit of German comes up from time to time. So yeah, I have watered these, and later I would spray them again, fertilizer every 2 or 3 weeks. For now, they look great. I'm happy with everything here. These I need to work something. These will be among the last to stay in the washed pumice. Washed pumice is a great medium, but it bothers me tremendously because it keeps falling out of the pot. I'm not sure, when I turn it around, you can maybe see it even. It's already falling out there again. And that is happening every time you move a pot with pumice in it. So yeah, that's the last pot that I'm having with it. In addition to the fact that it's very fast draining. It really loses water very fast. Okay, this here is too dry, too deep. At this point, it's a little bit difficult to fix. I'm waiting until the seedlings are a little bit bigger that I can safely transplant them. For now, they just get water and fertilizer every 2 or 3 weeks. Like water every day, but fertilizer every 2 or 3 weeks. And now that the soil is so dry, I need to really put a bit of extra water in it from time to time, letting it soak, pulling the water back. When this kind of soil dries out, it can become unusable. Not entirely, but it makes everything so much harder. So yeah, this has gotten a little bit of water now. Let me see what we have here. This looks weird. We need to single them out. I need to bring new pots again next time. These will go out in 2 or 3, split up into 2 or 3 containers. Let me see what it is. This is a hybrid between Dessau, Lobivia hybrid Dessau, and Cerenzia arboricola. So interesting. Cerenzia arboricola, an amazing flowering plant, and Dessau, classic hybrid, classic Lobivia. These could be great, just for the interesting type of body. I'm sure there are not many Lobivia arboricola hybrids, aside from the stuff with like the Zelly hybrids, like the hybrids by Misplant. But apart from that, I haven't seen so many, so we will see how that will work out. Okay. Yeah, these look better, a little bit higher up. You see, it makes a big difference in regards to the light that they get. I was born in Saarland, Germany. Okay, it comes up quite often. So yeah, I always say that I was born in Saarland, Germany, born Saarländer. But yeah, everything I do is in English. I have so many friends in this whole thing, in the industry, in English, and at the time when there was no automatic translator feature available, at that time you either had to learn English to talk with your friends in other places of the world, or you didn't understand them. So now, yeah, and at the time I started doing books in English. I wrote a few cactus books, and that's why all my stuff's in English. This is the second time someone asks me to speak German. So unfortunately, I'm keeping it in English just because I would find it a little bit, a lot of people watch the stuff because of the cacti, and I don't want to make it all about me being born in Germany. I don't want to turn this into a German stream. So yeah, but thank you. I appreciate it. Greetings to you, wherever you are. Thank you for being a part of the stream. Okay, so these have gotten water a little bit now. Yeah. I would spray them again later today. They will need to be watered at least 2 or 3 times in a day. Fertilizer every 2 or 3 weeks. Okay, so these I transplanted because there were too many, and there are still too many. But I fixed it a little just to give them a new soil. We will see how these will develop in the next month or 2. I will split them up again, but for now they still need to grow a little. They've been very stressed. That's why I was repotting them into the new soil. And yeah, we'll see how they develop. A little bit more water now. Okay. Also, they need water 2 or 3 times a day at that size, very often. It depends on the heat that you have in the room. But in my setting, they need water twice or thrice a day. Okay. So these need to be singled out because they are too deep. This is really problematic because you wouldn't see if something would happen at the base there, like one of the seedlings getting infected at the base there, and then you wouldn't really realize it. You wouldn't feel it if that infection got started. So we need to single them out. split them up in more pots and pot them up higher. This is also contributed by the fact that the soil washes away at the bottom every time you water. So it's always good to fill up the pot in the beginning. Okay. All right, so these will go back under the lamp. Sprayed once or twice today, more like one more time or twice. These two, also getting to the limits of the pot, might have to repot them very soon. So let's have a look at the ones that are in the bags. So here's one that I want to transplant also. This needs to go into another pot. It's just not growing in the old soil, and I really hate that. So let me see if I can take that one out. Get this thing here. Taking the whole seedling out, including the roots. And then I will try to pot it up into new soil. Taking the label. So this goes out, this goes into the trash. This is my little trash can here. Okay, new soil. This time I'm using sowing soil. I really like using classic sowing soil. It's simple but effective. Always have a little bit here when we're sowing out. So I will pot up maybe 4 different seedlings into this pot. This is just for containers where I only have 1 seedling per container, that where we didn't get more germinations. Sometimes you have the seeds where you only get 1 or 2. And in this case, I just want to save a little bit of space here. So we will put 1 into every corner with a label. So yeah, now that I compressed the soil, there's a lot of space left that I can fill up again with the soil. I really try to have them way up this time, because the first time it really failed. When they are so deep, they don't get a lot of light. You don't have a good good drainage. You don't have a little bit of oxygen near the seedling. Okay. Yeah, this is acceptable. Okay. Now I will water the soil a little bit, making sure that it is flexible, that it can be, that I can work with it. Okay. So this is the old root with the soil still attached to it. You always have to be careful when you transplant a seedling this small. Okay, so this should be everything that I need. Just carefully wiggled around, and everything that wasn't root came off. And that allows me to repot the seedling, but without bringing any kind of contaminant from the other soil. So yeah, I will carefully put that little seedling into the soil now, into the corner of the pot. Very often when you only have 1 weak seedling, they will not make it. So if we can, in each of these pots, just get 1 or 2 plants that survive, that's great. And then when they are a little bigger, they will be repotted again, singled out. For now, I'm trying to save a little space here. This was Wörlitz Cantora Gelb. Interesting hybrid. Yeah, I have many different ones with different flowers from that cross. And most of them have good genetics. for making crosses with yellow flowers. Really useful. So yeah, okay. So I now have that one seedling in the corner here. I will put it aside, and next time I'm opening one up that could be singled out too. We will do that with that one. Okay. Just don't have enough space here. That's why I brought the other desk. But then again, yesterday I was so unhappy with everything. Okay. Let's see what we have here. These look okay. But we might have to take them out of the bag. Check it out. Maybe a little bit more than a month. 1.5 maybe. Oh, there was a fungus gnat. Just saw a fungus gnat fly by. Welcome to the fungus gnat channel. We will take these out right now. Because if fungus gnats are in the soil, you get rid of them again by letting the soil completely dry out. So we would do that. Here's a little seedling that didn't make it. I saw that just now. And I already knew that this was fungus gnats before it flew up. But of course it verified the suspicion. Yeah, and these come out. I will try to get the soil a little bit more compacted. That it looks like there's a big tear in the soil here. I will try to fix that. I want the seedlings to have a good, solid connection to the soil. Not wiggling around in a little canyon. But also not too deep, not potted too deeply. They have to be at exactly the right height. If you have them too close to the soil, they often start to rot. They need to be free. Oxygen needs to get all around them. Yeah, so this is big enough. If I take it out of the bag, they should be able to survive probably. I think. But yeah, they need to be watered right away. Once you take these out of the bag, you really need to spray them often in the beginning. Within the first day, it is really dangerous. You can lose some of them. Sometimes you can take time and slowly harden up the seedlings. Get them hardened up, make them used to the new humidity. But in a case where you have fungus gnats in the soil, it is really important that the soil dries out as soon as possible. And that's why we're taking them out now. A little bit of a cold shock. So I have to spray them carefully because they are also so tiny that they might not withstand a lot of pressure. I would carefully try to water them every time, and then hopefully they will make it. If we would leave them in the bag now with the fungus gnats in it, I think we would lose at least 1 or 2 more very soon. Yeah, this only has a number. I'm not sure what it is, but I suspect it is Lobevia. They have that Lobevia look to them. Little Bolivian cacti with nice flowers. Beautiful day flowering. Opening up early in the morning usually. For me, when I do my pollinations, I usually start off my day with the Lobevia pollinations. Yeah, and that's something like that. So I will put these aside. I will have to really make sure I don't forget to water them now. It is my mission to make sure these will survive. Okay. If you do not have any kind of infestation in the bag, you can reuse them. Very often actually, but you need to be careful that you're not spreading something from container to container through the bag. I'm all for conserving resources, recycling, everything that I don't, everything goes into the recycling, but sometimes you can't reuse them. Okay, so these look unhealthy, ungreen, very yellowish, and this is genetically caused because it has been like that from the beginning. There's 1 or 2 seedlings with spines. The others aren't even normal looking seedlings. Yeah. Teleflora is the mother plant here. Teleflora, a hybrid between Sorensia telegona and Echinopsis aerisi grandiflora. Really a classic hybrid by a German breeder called Robert Gräser. And I believe it was in the 1950s. So really old school type of hybrid. And they are still around today. A lot of people have forgotten how they look. And today they are often treated as, they have gotten new names like Trichocereus brevis spinulosus. Just hybrids with Sorensia telegona. And they have a unique but really incredible look. The flowers on the mother plant, they are pretty big, pinkish. Really a nice flower. So getting a healthy seedling here would be great. I like the hybrid. I like Teleflora. Last year I did a time-lapse video with it that was insane. But yeah, it's not perfectly healthy. Sometimes you have those hybrid crosses that look like this, that have that yellowish look. If you have seedlings that start looking green in the beginning when they germinate, and then when they maybe a month or 2 old, then they turn yellowish, then it's probably a malnutrition, nutrient deficiency. But if you have seedlings that are yellow from the first day, then it's usually a genetic variegation, either full or partial. Yeah, and they are often delayed seedlings that don't grow fast. What will we do here? We can't take them out of the bag yet, at least not safely. This is something, if this had fungus gnats in it, I would probably transplant them all, just to get them into a clean soil, because they are actually too small to take them out. There's 1 or 2 seedlings that would probably make it, but the others would be really on the verge in between. So yeah, I need to keep it in this thing for a little longer. I would love to start fertilizing, and very soon we will transplant them. They need to go into new soil very soon. But when you disturb them early on, you will also it will also be stress. So you have to, when they are too small, sometimes it's safer to leave them a little longer, give them a little bit more time to grow, and then transplant them when they are a little bit bigger. So yeah, that's the approach that I'm currently leaning towards. So I will close this thing up again. But very soon it will come out. Next time I will be here with new pots. I've already started disinfecting the older ones that I still have. And then I will be here again with the new pots, and then we're transplanting this into new soil. I would love to see this in new, good soil where it gets a little bit of fertilizer. I could also put the fertilizer, like new chemical fertilizer, into the closed bag, like opening it up, putting fertilizer in it and closing it again. But this is already very poor soil, degraded. To one look at it, and I see that the pH level isn't right. Sometimes you get algae when everything is, like, when the pH level indicates that something's off. So yeah, I feel that if we would start to fertilize this in the bag, we would lose more seedlings than if we wait a little bit longer. Okay, so this will go back. Next time I will bring the new pots. Oh, okay. So this is great. Here we have another one that I can just move into that other pot, where I only have one right now, one in the corner. Don't put babe in the corner. So, okay. Yeah, I will put that other thing, I will put that other seedling into the right corner. I think it's just one. Here's a seedling that is completely white and doesn't have a chance. I don't even bother with that. It looks like there's nothing that it wouldn't even survive if I would graft it right now, and I would have to graft it. Okay, so here's the little seedling, and this one will go into the other corner of the pot. Every now and then, when I only have one seedling per cross, per strain, whatever, I split them up in a pot to save a little bit of space. But you really have to be careful that you don't have too many. Otherwise, you will lose track of, like if you take one out and you remove a label, then suddenly you can completely lose track of what label belongs to which seedling. But this is okay. So I will put it aside again until later. Maybe we will find another one where I only have one seedling. This goes away into the trash. I don't need that anymore. I will reuse the soil maybe for the bigger plants. But yeah, okay. Yeah, this looks bad. They have barely grown since germinating. This is pretty old actually. This is already the second soil these two seedlings were in. And they have barely grown. That little green seedling here, like that one here, that one might have a chance. Maybe. The other one is already on the way out. Other ones variegated, fully variegated. I'm not seeing any kind of long-term survival there. But yeah, let me see what it is. Hilde-Winterer hybrid. In the future, I want to avoid that it looks like I want to trash certain hybrids. So in the future, when it's a Hilde-Winterer, I just say it's a Hilde-Winterer hybrid. I'm not naming names anymore. In most cases, rarely. So this is just a random Hilde-Winterer hybrid. And yeah, genetically unhealthy. Unhealthy seedlings. This is from really fresh seeds. Sometimes you have unhealthy looking seedlings when the seeds are too old. But in this case, it's actually due to the genetics not being great. Hilde-Winterer, there are not that many wild populations apparently. Okay. Here's another container where I transplanted seedlings. Yeah, those have poorly grown in the other soil also. This is from a hybrid called Bumboy. Hybrid by Uwe Kahle, German breeder. And yeah, they are barely growing. So far, after being repotted into the new soil, I can't really say that anything has changed in the new soil. They are just as poorly developing as poorly as they did in the old soil. I could transplant them again. Yeah, let's put them in this pot here, because honestly, I don't see that huge long-term survival chance here. So we might as well put them in a little bit of smaller pots. This is a little bit excessive for seedlings this size. Okay. I need to work on this seedling a little bit more. Just making sure that when you're repotting a seedling that is this small, you really have to make sure that it is not surrounded by soil. Yeah, and that's what I'm doing right now, trying to compress the soil around the seedling a little bit. Okay, now I bring the other one. I usually don't recommend to do that when you already repotted them. This is unnecessary stress. But we have so little space here that we kind of have to do it. Eventually, these two will show if they grow or not. I wouldn't bet on it right now. They don't look so good. Okay, but this is... I have space for one more, so I will put it aside again. This one here, I can reuse for something else. This was fresh soil too. So I will put that aside. But I will close it up again right away to keep the fungus gnats away. I don't want to leave that open if I close it again. If it's something that you will take out of humidity anyway, then there's no need. But everything where the fungus gnat can get in, it's really a bad pest. Okay. Yeah, this looks horrible. Let me see what we do here. This is also Teleflora. Check it out. Transplanted seedlings because they were doing poorly in the previous soil. And now nothing is really getting better. So we have to look at why. Some of the seedlings that we lost here, most likely fully variegated. This seedling here, for example, I will try to show it to you. See the color? Pretty white. Probably not able to produce chlorophyll. It's a genetic defect. So the others, here's one that is covered, like lying sideways and covered by soil. Covered with soil, whatever. So I will just bring that seedling here back on its feet, getting it a good connection to the soil again, making sure that it has that lifeline. Okay, and the other seedling too. Okay. Yeah, let me see this one here. This is variegated too. I could already take that out, and I think I will. It looks like a waste of time. Check it out. Also very white. You don't have to take them out. It is something, personally, I try to leave them in until I see that they are doing poorly. And in this case, I could see them doing poorly. I could see them, like you really see when a seedling loses integrity in the cells, and you could see that already. So that's why I took it out. Apart from that, I can see a few seedlings that are so small that it's unlikely that they will grow, that they would survive. Like down here, this is so small. They shouldn't be so small. There are cacti where the seedlings are this small, but these shouldn't be among them. So it's probably some sort of a genetic thing. Here's a seedling that wasn't really potted right. Try to move it around with the thing here, pliers. or something like that. How it's called, I don't know. But yeah, I will tweeze them in with the tweezers, I think. Getting them to make connection to the soil. Okay. Yeah, then I remove a little piece of wood here because it's too close to the seedlings and I don't want to have that constant organic material near the seedlings, so close. A little bit of wood in a pot isn't a huge thing, but having it close to a seedling can definitely lead to total loss of the container. So here's a seedling that I'm also taking out. Developmental issues, and also already losing integrity in the cells. They literally look milky, transparent in a dirty white way. Once you have seen that look, you will never forget it usually. So yeah, apart from that, few of the seedlings look okay. Not all bad here. Here's a seedling that I need to just lift up, gently lift up a little. A large part of growing cacti is just like when you're growing from seed, is just handling seedlings, making sure that they have perfect connection to the soil. In nature, you lose so many, take so many plants for one large that makes it and is flowering, maturing. And if we wouldn't do all that, it would be like in nature. We would lose a lot of seedlings. So yeah, apart from that, I will try to put in a little bit of water. And the moment I put in a little bit of water, I might have to redo some of the seedlings, like they get loosed a little bit. So you might have to correct the position of the seedlings. Okay. The moment you water, everything sinks down a little. Watering is great when you're working with seedlings because it gives you visibility, and it keeps dirt from sticking to the seedlings. The more contact the seedlings get with soil, the higher the risk that something will actually infect them. A lot of pathogens in the soil. Yeah. So I often, when they are small and when they are not doing well like these did, I really try to give them solid stability, really nice connection to the soil. And now I will put them back into the bag. This needs 2 months. I'm not seeing them grow like the others. Again, as a comparison, these should be roughly the same size. Okay, Teleflora, but with Teleflora, like I said earlier, it's the type of plant where you sometimes have to be a little bit more patient. When you see the seedlings not doing well, that happens a lot with that particular plant. In my opinion, it happens a lot with most hybrids involving Cerenzia telegona. So you have to be patient. Have to, despite the fact that they are not doing so great, believe that you can get them to adulthood, and eventually you will get 1 or 2. You might never get them all, but yeah. Okay, so here's our fourth seedling that we can transplant into that other pot. Very glad that this allows me to have a little bit more space. So yeah, trying to move the seedling mostly in one piece, like with as much root attached to it as possible. You might lose a little piece of root here and there when you are moving it, when you're taking it out, but most of the time it works. Okay. By the way, here's a piece of bark that I'm taking out. Check it out. That is the kind of stuff that you always find in sowing soil. Also, sowing soil. In this case, it was the cemetery soil. It's not a deal breaker, but sometimes when you have that organic material staying wet all the time, being full of pathogens, sometimes you have these wood-loving mushrooms that are growing on wood. So yeah, for sowing out, it's a little bit too much. Make sure that if there's wood in it, it's not the huge pieces. Okay. Looks okay. Again, you have to be very careful not to lose overview here. Because when the seedlings get bigger, sometimes you take a label out, sometimes you leave it in, and then it gets hard to see which belongs to which. But yeah, for now, this is okay. This will work. Let's see if I have a good bag here. Okay. And these go back into the bag because they are all too small. I'm not seeing any of them big enough to be transplanted, to be taken out of humidity right away. So they need to stay in the bag for a good month. Hey, Robert. Welcome to the stream. Great to have you. Thank you for joining. Yeah, I'm great. I'm okay. Thank you. Thank you. I finally found the cat food that Kami likes, and that is something that really means a lot to me. Like Kami can't really eat all cat food. There were some like different brands of cat food where she lost the hair. She's pretty allergic to some of the cat food that is available, and I feel like, you know, there are surprisingly many brands that are out there. When you look into the ingredients and you read about the reviews, many people talk about that the animal got sick or lost hair, you know, that kind of stuff. And yeah, so I'm really happy that I finally found something that she likes and doesn't make her ill. That is, the cat used to love eating that cheap food that really made her very ill. And yeah, for a long time it was hard to find something that she really liked eating. Right now I think I have 100 different types of cat food in my house, just to make sure that I find something that Kami likes. And yeah, we found something, and the whole family is happy about it. So yeah, I'm not sure why they are doing that, you know. I'm sure many people would pay extra to just have good quality, you know. When you pay, like today, so many people consider pets their family. I don't know why they make that food that such a low quality. I mean, they could really benefit from putting out a great product that where the animals really live long and healthy lives, you know. So I'm always surprised when I hear all these horror experiences from pet food, from pet owners whose animals ate some sort of food and then they lost all hair. I still remember when Kami had that. She was almost like bald, you know. It took months for it to regrow, and yeah, I constantly have to buy a different brand because something isn't right. Either she doesn't like it, or she loves it but gets violently ill from it. Doing my best just to find the right brand. Okay. Yeah, this is Imperialis. Cerensia Telegona hybrid. And with huge flowers, really huge flowers. I'm a fan. I like this, like the plant that this came from, these seedlings. I'm a big fan of that. Cool, unique plant that I got in a collection from a friend who went out of the hobby, and he sold me maybe 30 or 40 plants, and that was actually the main one that I wanted. And only because of that plant, I did that. I said, okay, give me those plants. I take them, but I really need that one. And this is, these are seedlings from that. So I'm really looking forward seeing what will grow from them. And I also did a time-lapse video with that flower here that produced these. For now, I need to take a seedling out that doesn't survive, that is too weak, due to variegation. Like in all the containers with Teleflora, this one has the same problems. Some seedlings are not perfectly healthy, so you might have to take them out from time to time if you do not decide to graft them. And I'm okay if people want to do that. I have no problem with that, but I'm usually not doing it with perfectly white seedlings. If they were a little green, little variegated, I would love to do it more. You know, like if you have that white seedling that always needs to be grafted, you are taking in so much responsibility, continuously having to graft. And if you lose the grafting stock, you need to graft right away. No matter if it's winter, no matter if it's autumn, the bad kind of times when you shouldn't graft, if something happens, you need to graft again. And that's why I don't like it. I just hope that some of the seedlings here will survive long term, will have that nice green, healthy color. For now, they haven't grown much, and they are not that young. They should already be a little bigger, and that already kind of worries me because I want the plants here. I want them all. I would love to have maybe 10 different seedlings from those where we can pick the best one. So yeah, I will try to remove the outer shell of the seed that got stuck on the seedling. I talk about this a lot because it really matters in sowing out. When cactus seeds germinate, they germinate on top of the soil. And that means they do not, when they break through the soil, they do not shed that little piece of seedling of the seed, like that outer shell of the seed that stays after they have germinated. They usually drop that, but sometimes they don't. And when they don't, I take it down because it can infect the seedling, and very often it does. So carefully with something like a tiny piece of wood or plastic, just carefully wiggling around on that seed that was still on the seedling. Here's also one. And depending on how healthy the seedling is, this might really be necessary. Sometimes they can throw it off, and sometimes they can't. Oh, this is really annoying. Like when you do it on a tiny seedling, it's not easy. It's like when you're playing one of these old games where you had water in it and you had to kind of get the things to hit the target in with the water. It's really tiny spot where you can pull it off, but you have to be careful not to uproot the little seedling, not to pull it out of the soil. Okay. This one's really bad. I have it. Okay. Yeah, apart from that, the seedlings are still too small to take them out. Not able to do much. Oh yeah, congratulations, Robert. Let me know how it goes with the seeds. Okay. Yeah, apart from that, this is all we can do right now, I think. There's some of the seedlings that will not make it. We will have to take them out later. But for now, they stay in there. This is very young. A good month or two away from being taken out of the bag. Okay, and I want to fix something that I just saw earlier. Due to the fungus gnats, I had to take out this one. And during the first watering, some of the seedlings got messed up. So we need to fix that again. Just watering the soil to make everything workable, flexible, so I can move the seedlings the way I wanna have them. Okay. Now it's a swamp, but it will dry up again, and then hopefully with the seedlings firmly into the soil. These have been, I believe, either repotted or just taken out to let the soil dry up. And now some of them do not look good. These are actually too young to remove them from humidity. But we have to do it because the fungus gnats had already eaten a few seedlings here and there. So yeah, what I'm doing now is just getting the seedlings into the soil. Moving the seedlings into the soil with the little root. I have to put this thing into. Okay. And I'm cleaning up a little. Here was the rest of a little seedling that did not make it. I always put a lot of energy into having clean soil when you're sowing out, when you're working inside. Like when the plants are bigger, you should also do it. But when the plants are bigger, it's not so dangerous. So yeah. Moving these here. Every seedling, trying to move every seedling into the soil with the base. Trying to cover the base a little deeper. Also because I have fungus gnats that want to bite into them. So I try to lock them a little bit out from the base of the seedlings. Here's a seedling that I need to take out. I just see, like, when you see the skin color, texture, everything turn mushy, the game is over. Okay. Here's another one. In the first 2 or 3 weeks, I try to leave the little cactus seedlings alone. But there are times when you can't help, when you have to move them. But yeah, congratulations everyone for the stuff that you're sowing out. I always love to hear what's going on. I love sowing out myself, and sometime soon we will get a few more different types of seed to sow out. Will be very cool. I'm looking forward to it. Okay. I'm removing seedlings that I found here, down there. This is bad with the takeaway containers, and it's been a problem with all of them. And not so much with the other seedlings, like with the square pots. It's not been, they have been a little bit hardier. They are just made for plants. They are made to have the firm wall that doesn't wiggle all the time like you would expect when you use a takeaway container. Okay. Yeah. Here's a variegated seedling way up here. And it has that seed thing stuck on top. I try to get it down now. Okay. Yeah. Apart from that, I can close it up now. They would stay in there. Oh no, I wanted to leave it out because of the fungus gnats. Yeah, so we need to leave it out then. Let it dry. I will really try to get the perfect time between letting this thing dry out and watering again. Because these little seedlings here, they don't have much time. They don't have that. You can't keep these out without watering them relatively often. Okay. Here's another one with just one seedling. I will really try to move this one into another container too. But I first want to have a look at the label. First trying to find out what we have here. What is it? Oh yeah, this is interesting. This is Teleflora crossed with Valida, Echinopsis valida. Unfortunately, this is a good one. And this was older seeds, so I could definitely see some of them coming up with a serious delay. So I might have to leave it in there just to see, maybe to get a few more germinations. Like I said, Teleflora alone can already be difficult. Then you have a little bit older seeds. These were 2 or 3 years old, or maybe even more. Yeah, I think it was 2022. And unfortunately, they're not getting healthier through that. So maybe if I can get that one seedling, I'm very happy. And if I can induce a few more germinations when I put that under the lamp, then I'm lucky. Hey, just reading a comment that some of the Echinopsis seeds have taken up to 12 months to germinate. That's really long. That's really long. Usually, if I don't get seedlings within maybe 6 weeks, let's say 2 months, I already consider it a failure and let the soil dry out and try again. If you have them in humidity for that long, it's impressive that they then eventually came up, because very often they lose viability then. You know, like when they, I don't know what it is, but sometimes when soil stays wet for long, like with the seeds, when the seeds stay wet for prolonged periods, they don't come up. They have that protection to not come up at a bad time in winter, you know, when they had 0 chance of survival. So in my experience, if you take them wet, if you keep them wet for a long time, let's say 6 to 12 months, I haven't seen a lot of germinations in that time anymore. But it can happen, you know, it can happen, especially if you later change something, maybe add in a little bit more water again, maybe fix the temperature, maybe you weren't hitting the right temperature in the beginning. Usually seeds should come up within 5 days to maybe 3 weeks at the most. Fresh seeds germinate very fast. Okay, yeah, these look okay, these look good. Greenish looking seedlings, not bad, really not bad. Uwe Kahle is the breeder from a Sisala hybrid cross, and one variegated seedling down there. Probably just a fluke, we will see. But for now, they need to stay in there. They are not big enough to check them out. Maybe another 3 weeks, and then we're already getting problems with the soil where we need to either transplant them or take them out. Some point you just have to either start fertilizing, put them in a new soil, or take them out, because having them in humidity also, you long term you get problems with stuff like algae, moss, stuff that just takes over the container. Okay, let's see what we have here. This was a container with weak seedlings, and one of them huge and the other small. That huge seedling was the only thing that I expected would survive. So for now, there are still a few of the other seedlings left, and they don't look horrible. So maybe we can save a few more. Here's a seedling that I just want to move a little bit, inspecting it from the root, and unfortunately the root looks orangish, really orangish. I don't like that. This already tells me there's a problem. You usually shouldn't have that orange looking root. Yeah, I'm very anxious for the new season. Like yesterday, I saw a friend of mine, like Eddie, from Macondo Cactus, and he started watering already. So there are also breeders that start watering even earlier, and I can see that might even give them more energy in the season. At this time now, I consider to start fertilizing the grafting stocks and the little plants, like the ones where I feel like they might be dehydrated, and where dehydration really means that you lose the seedling. That is the type of stuff that I will water and fertilize first. My official season always starts on March 15th, but I might actually start a little earlier this time. We will see. But I'm already getting prepared. I already moved plants into the greenhouse again. I was never this well prepared. So we would see. This could really be a good season. Maybe if life calms down a little, if it's not a horrible year again, then this could be a great year. And yesterday I worked on the video set. I want to have a video set for the live stream that I'm doing, for the Cactus live stream. And every time I'm doing the Cactus live stream, the whole place is flooded. Like the desk, everything's dirty, so you can't really do much else there. And I also like to post about my vintage stuff from time to time. It's a hobby that I have. So I built me a second desk to film other stuff. And yeah, now I also put together a new background for the time lapse videos, for the flower time lapse videos yesterday, and it looks really good. I only need a new lamp. Let me show you the lamp that I had to light out the time lapse videos. I took it apart yesterday, so I brought it on the stream because I wanted to show you guys this. So I just wanted to change the bulb, wanted to see what kind of a thing this is. And I think there's a LED that's soldered in center here. Like I took this thing down, and here in center you can still see that. I think it's a LED. And I'm not sure if I can solder. I really haven't soldered. Not saying that I wouldn't try to do it, but this is with electricity. So I might have to get a new lamp for the time-lapse videos. I tried fixing it. Like one of the things that I, for myself, swore myself was to put more, to invest more energy to save tools, to save older tools, to save machines, and to save lamps. But in this case, I'm not sure if that thing can be saved. I wouldn't bet on it right now. But there's a lot of stuff happening already for the new season. Okay, so I'm just in this container here. I'm just potting up the seedlings, giving them a better connection to the soil again. Yeah, I know that these will probably be cheap to replace. I just really like this lamp. I could really use it to light in every angle, and the light was strong. It was actually a strong LED if it was one. So I'm really sad that thing. We'll see. I know a few electricians, but I'm not sure if I wanna impose on the friendship for something like that. We will see. I think about it. Okay. Yeah, in this container here, there are 1 or 2 seedlings that really don't look good. Here's one that I'm putting into the corner here on the other side. There's too many pieces of wood in there. That was one of the biggest problems so far. Not really that it made the seedlings sick, but just that it bothered the seedlings, that it came too close to the seedlings. Taking the seedling out, it's just not healthy. Some of the seedlings that are in there, they do not look healthy. Something had happened in this container. This one I'm taking out too. If I can get a few of them to grow, that would be awesome. Okay. Okay. So I will close this up again. Just for the little seedlings, just for the small ones that would not survive. I had to bring this into the bag again. It was already out and they did poorly. So now they are back in the bag to recover a little bit, to hydrate a little bit again. If it happens, we will see. Probably not, if I'm honest. Looking at some of the seedlings, I already took a few out, and I had the desire to take even more out. They weren't looking so great. And again, by the way, in case you didn't notice, we're back at the old desk from previously. Yesterday was the first day where I had streamed with the new desk, and I just didn't like it. I was too far away from the camera, and every time I wanted to show something, it was too far away. But if you want to have a look, check it out. Check out yesterday's live stream. I did the whole live stream from the different camera. It wasn't bad, but it was just not. I really liked it the way it was. So yeah, check it out if you want to see the live stream in a different angle. It might not happen again so soon. In this one also, genetic unhealthiness. And wood, there's a piece of wood that I would love to take out, but it's directly below a few seedlings. Let's try it out. Maybe I can get it out here. Okay, that worked well. Here's a seedling that has the seed shell still stuck on the tip. I take that off. Apart from that, some of those are really fully variegated, and I would not get used to them because they will not stick around probably. There's a green seedling here, big one, that can kind of give you an understanding of how big they could be if they weren't so heavily impaired. Yeah, variegation usually means they can grow healthily. We'll see how it goes for now. Everything that doesn't make it, I will take out. Unhealthy seedlings. But I also want to give them a chance. Sometimes you find that plant that looks variegated but can survive on their own root. And I like these plants. So I want to give the others a chance. I kind of repositioned them like I always do. I like to have them solidly connected to the soil. Yeah, but for now, nothing else we can do. That little green seedling there, that might actually survive if we take it out, but the others definitely not. So they will get another couple weeks maybe. Not super long, but couple weeks should be enough. I'm not sure what it is, but every time, every morning when I'm doing the live stream, at the same time, the chickens of my neighbor start going crazy. Like they usually, like when they see an animal, like a fox, for example, they completely lose it. And right now it's always happening during the stream, and I'm not sure what kind of an animal it is. It could be a cat or a fox. But I will check on them when I'm done with the live stream. Here's a little stone, little pebble that was in the soil. I'm not sure what it is. Could be clay. I'm not sure. Sometimes they add expanded clay and to soil to provide a little bit of drainage. But I really don't want it too much on the seedling. Too close. Oh, yeah. I'm not sure how big they get. Like if an owl actually attacks a big chicken, but we also have them around, and I love them. Amazing animals, great to see them. But also, of course, you don't want them like having a lunch with your chickens, you know. So, but so far here, the ones that we lost, and when I say we, I actually mean my neighbor, but the ones that we lost were due to buzzard. The buzzards, they have so much power. They flew through the net that they had here, that my neighbor had, and I told him that's a bad net. I told him. Yeah, I hope you have them safely secured, because it's really difficult to keep chicken alive. Like if you have them walking around without protection to the top, you might lose a lot. In the beginning, when my neighbor got started, he almost lost them all. If I hadn't been there, he would have lost them all. So I constantly saved the chicken's life. And over the years, we also lost a few where I wasn't there. And yeah, so I'm really having an eye on it. I always came out of the house and was traumatized because I found a chicken in front of in my garden, you know. So I try to help. I try to help for the chicken's sake. That's good. Yeah, that's good. But I have never seen an owl at them. Only time I have really seen an owl close by was when one fell into my chimney. I was hearing these weird noises out of my chimney. I have this kind of a metal frame chimney outside, and I could hear inside where the chimney is, like where they have it on the wall. I could hear these really loud noises. So I went out and opened that thing up. And then there was this owl sitting in there and staring at me. I couldn't believe it. I didn't even take a camera, and I regretted it for the rest of my life, you know, because that owl, it looked at me and flew out of the chimney. It was one of these that you can open up like this, and the owl just took off and flew away. And I was so impressed because it's such a nice animal. They are great to see close by. Really majestic kind of animals. So yeah. And that was my only encounter with the owl here. I sometimes see them sitting on the like along the roadside, like on the telephone stuff, or on the trees. We have quite a few of them, but you don't see them often. They are very, very shy. Okay, yeah, so these here. Yeah, when that owl flew away silently, like you say, and it was such a beautiful, like it was white, really white. It was like the stuff that you see when you're dreaming, when you're having, you know, it was a magical moment. One of those moments that I have in my life where I was just observing, having mouth open, observing. And I will always regret that I didn't film it. I didn't film it, for one, because I needed both hands to get that thing open. It was a little bit higher up. And I also was worried that there's an injured animal in there, like that really needed medical attention. I didn't want to film this when I open this thing up and there's an animal that has an injury and needs to be like, I don't know. I wasn't sure if whatever I film, if that animal would make it. And I opened this thing up and it just flies away, in perfect shape. You couldn't even see any kind of like sut, you know, nothing. It was white. Great moment. I love that. Maybe I will see another owl here, but I only hear them late at night. That's all. But during the day, we have buzzards all around, all day long. They are everywhere here. Some of the stuff that I film all the time is just buzzards flying over the garden. Really impressive. They are also impressive birds. I was really like that one time when one got to the chickens. I needed to open up that it could get out. Because it got in but not out again. So I just opened the door and it got out. And it was such an amazing animal. I was just glad that it got out, because they have pretty bad claws too. I was really impressed by the size. I did not think that they would be this big. you usually don't get to see them so close, like when you have chickens. That is the benefit. But on the other hand, I was really often horrified when I came into my garden and found a chicken. I hope it doesn't happen anymore. Now the neighbor has replaced that bed net and has replaced it with wire. Yeah. So now he hasn't had any kind of casualty in over 1 or 2 years. And I'm very relieved. I had a time when every time I went out, I was scared that I would see a buzzard flying up. Because if you see them flying up, it's already too late. When they have landed for a reason. Okay, yeah. Nice bird stories. When I was younger, I didn't care for birds, but the older you get, you kind of appreciate them for being great animals, for being such a positive thing for the planet. Like when I'm doing my videos today, when I film the flower videos and I have the birds in the background chirping, it's just a great experience. And I never really saw it like that when I was younger. Like that nature experience that you have. And a large part of it comes from birds, just being all around us, making bird sounds. Yeah, you learn to appreciate that when you get older. I think that is the reason why more older people like bird watching or feeding the birds. You realize it's great to have them and they need protection. Okay, so yeah, these are the seedlings here. This is Angelo, and I also want to repot them very soon, maybe in the next stream. Probably not today, but next stream, I think. I want them in a new soil. This is still the first soil that we have sown out, and they are very tiny. I will transplant them into sowing soil the next time. I will leave them here. And tomorrow morning we will pot them up into a new pot. I will make sure that we have enough pots, and then we will do a little bit of singling out. That kind of stuff. I didn't get to do all the things that I wanted today, but that's okay. I have a friend of mine, like a local friend of mine, that sends me goofy messages because he apparently watches my stream when I talk about birds. Now he's making fun of me. But yeah, tomorrow I will bring soil again, and then we will repot. I forgot to water a few seedlings here and there today. They're still thirsty. But we will do that in the next stream again, like tomorrow. I will just leave them here, water them a little bit, that it's just enough for tomorrow, and then we water them again. And yeah, I think this is a good stream. My mom's in the hospital. I hope she's all right. So yeah, I'll see if I got any messages from her to see if, if she's getting like a colonoscopy, if that is a word. I tried saying that word and I can't. But yeah, she's in the hospital getting some sort of a inspection done, and I hope that everything will be all right. So I think I will end the stream now. To check on my mom. I hope you had a great time today. Thank you. It's nothing serious, I hope. It's just she had a lot of problems. She's taking heavy meds, and when you take these heavy meds, they sometimes, they mess with your body. It takes a while for the liver to recover, and they're just checking to make sure everything's all right. The older you get, the more you have to look into that kind of stuff, and I hope everything's okay. So thank you. I appreciate it. And thank you guys for having been here today. Greatly appreciated. I'm so happy to be back at my desk. the desk that I used to know the days before. I haven't really done this stream like longer than 3 months, but I got so used to this desk that I just couldn't do it with the other one. So yeah, I will be back tomorrow. Thank you for being here. I hope you have a great day. Hope you have a great week. I'm sorry it's Monday, but let's just get this over with so we can get back to the weekend again very soon. I hope you have a great day, everyone. Thank you for being here all the time. I will be back tomorrow, okay? Thank you, guys. Have a nice day.